Hello. Today I'll be walking through the Ecolab spotted lanternfly transport risk maps. The goal of these apps is to serve as survey and risk assessment tools in combating the spread of spotted lanternfly. Our apps were initially developed in collaboration with the state government agencies, leading to the components included in the app today. However, these apps are ongoing works in progress, and we welcome feedback and suggestions through our feedback form or email at iecolab@temple.edu. While our apps are targeted towards state agencies, they are free and public for anyone to use thanks for funding from the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the California Department of Food and Agriculture. Today, I'm going to use the Pennsylvania map to demonstrate how to use our transport risk maps. Every map contains 3 basic layers: our points of interest, our risk map layer, and the county 1 kilometer grids. Starting with the points of interest, they represent businesses or properties that pose an increased risk for transporting spotted lanternfly. These points are broken down into categories as shown by the buttons on the bottom and are displayed on the map with an appropriate icon. When you're zoomed out like this, these points cluster together in colored bubbles, showing the number of points within that general area. As you begin to zoom in, the individual icons begin to separate and appear. So let's zoom into Temple University here. And once you get the individual icons, you can actually click on them and a little bubble will pop up displaying the name of the property or business, the address, and the coordinates. The address and the coordinates represent 2 separate hyperlinks. So if you click on the address, it'll take you to Google Maps and it'll display the address here, taking us to Conwell Hall at Temple University. And then we can also click on the coordinates, which will take us to the coordinates of that area as well. We decided to include both because the coordinates don't always match up with the address and vice versa. So we leave the decision up to the user to decide which option better represents that location. Next, if we look at the bottom of the screen, we can remove points from a particular category by clicking on its respective button. So if I want to remove colleges, that'll remove all the colleges that are displayed on the map. So we no longer see Temple University. Same goes for any of the buttons here. If I want to get rid of the distribution centers, railroads, they will begin to disappear. Say if you want to just look at one particular category, but you don't feel like clicking all the buttons off, you can use our toggle all off button, and that'll get rid of all the layers on the map, and you can go ahead and click which particular layer you want to see on the map. So you want to turn all the layers back on, you can go ahead and use our toggle all on button, and that will put all the points back on the map. Just as a note, some categories are more broad than others. For example, truck stops should exclusively include truck stops or rest areas along a highway, but marinas may include areas like boat storage and repair shops that tend to have an incoming and outgoing traffic, along with outdoor storage, making these property types more susceptible to spreading spotted lanternfly. Moving on to the second component of our map is the establishment risk layer. It's important to note that this does not represent the density of the points, but rather is a measure of establishment risk. These numbers were produced by Huron et al. In a 2021 paper that measures the ability of spotted lanternfly to establish in an area considering its species distribution and the distribution of its preferred host, tree of heaven. The level of establishment is measured on a scale from 0 to 10, as shown by our legend on the right. So higher risk of establishment is shown by this deep red color, while lower risk of establishment is shown by this lighter color. So we can actually zoom in here and click on a municipality and find out exactly how high of a risk it has for spotted lanternfly to establish there. So here, Philadelphia has a risk of 8, but say we go over here, and Jefferson Municipality has a risk of 4. Lastly, if we zoom out here, The final component of our map is the county 1 kilometer grids. So we can click on individual counties here, and this will display 1 kilometer grids for that county. We can zoom in here and see them for ourselves. Agencies reported these helpful during their survey efforts, and it gives the ability to identify 1 kilometer areas with a high density of hubs. Those are the 3 main components of our transport risk maps. We do have the ability to change and alter these maps to customize them for a particular state's needs. So again, we welcome your feedback and suggestions. If you have any questions about this tutorial, please use our feedback form or email us at iecolab@temple.edu.